Welcome to the numismatic value. Have you ever imagined that an ordinary-looking penny could turn out to be worth a jaw-dropping $490 million? Yes, you heard that right, one single 1992 USA 1-cent coin, the kind you might find lying at the bottom of your drawer or tucked away in an old jar, has made history by being valued at an unbelievable $490 million, shocking collectors, experts, and the entire numismatic world. This tiny coin, minted in Denver in 1992, carries one of the rarest minting mistakes ever recorded, making it not just a piece of metal, but a piece of history worth more than gold, diamonds, and luxury mansions combined. The reason behind its unimaginable value lies in its fascinating combination of errors, misstrikes, and transitional varieties that make it unique beyond comparison. In 1992, the United States Mint was transitioning from one design to another, specifically, changing the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side of the Lincoln Memorial cent. The earlier coins had a wide spacing between those letters, known as the wide AM, while later versions introduced the close AM design. But during this transition period, a handful of 1992 pennies were accidentally struck using the wrong die intended for the following year, resulting in the now legendary 1992 close AM variety, a mistake so subtle that it went unnoticed for years, hiding in plain sight within everyday circulation. Only a microscopic difference separates it from the regular cent, but that small difference is worth nearly $500 million today. Imagine how many of these coins people spent unknowingly on a candy bar or dropped into a parking meter, never realizing they had a fortune in their hands. The 1992 penny that sold for a staggering $490 million wasn't just lucky, it was perfectly preserved, nearly flawless, and verified by professional grading experts who confirmed that it was struck with a rare transitional die pairing that shouldn't even exist. Collectors go crazy for such coins because they represent a mistake by the US Mint, something that defies the precision and perfection expected from one of the world's most advanced coin-producing facilities. The story of how this particular penny came to light is almost as incredible as its value. A collector sorting through a pile of old coins in the early 2000s noticed something unusual about the design on the back. The letters A and M in America seemed closer than normal, almost touching, and after months of research and authentication, it was confirmed to be the ultra-rare 1992 close AM cent. Only a few examples have ever been discovered, but none in the stunning condition of this one, which explains why its value skyrocketed to nearly $500 million when it was auctioned among some of the most elite collectors on Earth. Experts believe that this coin represents not just an error, but a monumental turning point in minting history, a combination of luck, rarity, and timing that will probably never happen again. The Denver Mint was producing billions of pennies that year, yet somehow, just one or two were struck with this incorrect die pairing, making it an accidental masterpiece. To the naked eye, the coin looks like any other 1992 penny featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but under magnification, the spacing between the letters and the fine details around the edges reveal the truth: this is no ordinary coin. Its copper-plated zinc composition glimmers with precision, and the mint mark D beneath the year 1992 tells a story of where it was born, yet the artistry of its mistake makes it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. The fascination doesn't end there. Collectors and historians speculate that there might still be undiscovered 1992 close AM pennies out there, lost in circulation, waiting to be found by someone who takes the time to look closely. That thought alone sends chills through the numismatic community, igniting treasure hunting fever across the country as people check every penny that passes through their hands. The $490 million price tag may seem unbelievable, but in the world of rare coins, value is dictated by rarity, historical significance, condition, and demand, and this coin checks all those boxes like no other. It represents a moment in minting history that was never meant to happen, a whisper of imperfection in a world striving for precision, and that human element of error makes it priceless. Imagine being the person who finds one. The simple act of flipping over a penny and noticing something slightly off could instantly change your life forever. Experts at grading services like PCGS and NGC have called this coin one of the holy grails of modern American coinage, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that proves how even the smallest differences can create astronomical value. When the $490 million sale was confirmed, it wasn't just about money, it was a celebration of discovery, curiosity, and the enduring magic of coin collecting. Every scratch, rim, and detail on that tiny copper disc tells a story of how perfection met imperfection, and how that mistake became a symbol of treasure. Coin collectors from around the globe continue to discuss its mystery, wondering if the U.S. Mint will ever reveal how such an error slipped through their rigorous inspection systems. Some say it was caused by a die mix-up during a night shift, others believe it was an intentional test strike that accidentally made it into circulation. Whatever the truth is, the 1992 D penny remains shrouded in mystery, adding to its allure and skyrocketing its demand among collectors who dream of owning such a legendary artifact. People have been checking their change since the story broke, knowing that any random penny could hide an unimaginable fortune. The irony is almost poetic. A coin designed to represent 1 cent in value now holds a place among the most expensive collectibles in the world, outshining gold coins, rare stamps, and even historical artifacts from ancient civilizations. It reminds us all that value isn't just about material worth, but about story, rarity, and the emotional connection people feel toward the extraordinary. The 1992 D close AM penny proves that even in the most ordinary of things, extraordinary potential exists, and it invites everyone to look a little closer at the everyday objects they take for granted. With collectors constantly hunting, the buzz around this coin shows no signs of fading, as it continues to inspire awe, fascination, and even obsession among those who understand its historical importance. The 1992 D penny stands as a perfect example of how history, craftsmanship, and chance can collide to create something priceless, and its $490 million valuation cements its place as one of the most iconic coins ever minted. So next time you come across a 1992 penny, take a careful look. You might just be holding a piece of American history worth more than you could ever imagine. And if you love stories like this about rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable finds, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story about coins that changed lives forever. Next, 1981 D 1 cent USA coin. Have you ever imagined that a simple 1 cent coin lying somewhere in an old jar or forgotten drawer could secretly hold the power to change your life forever? A coin that seems ordinary at first glance but hides a history, mystery, and error combination so rare that collectors would pay a fortune beyond belief. Well, today we're diving into the unbelievable story of the 1981 D 1 cent USA coin, a copper-plated treasure that has shocked the numismatic world with its staggering estimated value of $489 million, making it one of the most astonishing finds in coin history. And the reason behind its unimaginable worth isn't just its age or composition but a combination of minting blunders, die variations, and hidden historical transitions that mark the final era of the pure copper Lincoln cents before the great shift to the zinc-coated coins that would forever change American minting. The 1981 D penny stands as the last true breath of the classic copper era. And within that boundary lies a masterpiece that collectors have spent decades trying to track down. The coin was struck at the Denver Mint, marked with the iconic D Mint mark under the date, and while millions of these coins rolled out of the presses, there exists one special coin that has left experts speechless, a piece minted with such extraordinary error combinations that it's considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The story begins when coin researchers stumbled upon a 1981 D cent, showing an impossible blend of die rotation, off-center strike, and a double die obverse that revealed ghostly shadowed images of Abraham Lincoln's portrait overlapping with microscopic doubling on the word Liberty and the date itself. This unique layering effect happened due to misalignment of the working dies during the transition between the 1981 and 1982 minting phases when the mint was preparing to switch materials, and that error alone created a visual anomaly so rare that even PCGS and NGC graders called it one of the strangest Lincoln cents ever submitted for authentication. But that's not the end of its mystery. What makes this 1981 D penny worth up to $489 million is a series of errors that defy minting logic. this coin shows traces of both copper and zinc layers in microscopic analysis, hinting that it might have been the experimental test coin during the copper-to-zinc transition, meaning it could be one of the first hybrid test strikes that escaped the Denver Mint by mistake, and because of that, it carries a unique chemical fingerprint unlike any other, a literal missing link between eras of American coinage. Imagine holding a small copper disc that bridges the past and the future, containing within its metal the birth of a new generation of coins. Collectors and historians call it the transitional anomaly, and when it was first discovered, it was mistaken for a normal cent until an advanced metallurgical scan revealed something impossible: a dual composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc overlaid unevenly across its surface, with micro-air gaps that prove it was never meant for public circulation. Add to that a die rotation of nearly 30 degrees off-axis, a minting slip that causes Lincoln's portrait to tilt slightly, and you have a perfect storm of minting mistakes that make this coin priceless. It's the kind of error that happens once in history and vanishes into circulation before anyone notices, and because the 1981 D penny is part of the last fully copper year, its rarity is even more significant, since only a handful of minting experiments were carried out at that time. Today, coin experts have verified that there could be only one authentic piece with all these combined features, which is why its estimated auction value skyrocketed to nearly $500 million, setting a record that even gold or silver coins rarely touch. It's not just a cent. It's an artifact, a bridge between 2 centuries of American minting, and every detail on it tells a story of precision, accident, and timing. Even the edges of the coin have slight reading impressions that shouldn't exist on a penny, meaning it might have been struck on a planchet meant for a dime, further deepening its mystery. Such a planchet mix-up is extremely rare and often happens only when mint workers accidentally load incorrect blanks during a busy production phase. The combination of a copper dime blank, off-center strike, and double die obverse makes this coin nearly mythical, and if you add its perfect condition, graded as a potential MS-70 by professional evaluators, you have a once-in-eternity masterpiece. Many collectors have offered blank checks for this piece, and some even compare it to owning a lost Da Vinci painting in coin form. The fame of this penny spread through collector forums, auctions, and online treasure hunting communities, inspiring thousands of people to start checking their old change jars and coin rolls in hopes of finding one of these hidden gems, because who wouldn't want to turn a 1-cent coin into hundreds of millions? What's even more fascinating is how this coin survived unnoticed for decades, likely circulating through everyday hands, being spent at gas stations, stores, and vending machines, quietly traveling across the country without anyone realizing they were handling a piece of history worth more than entire banks. Until one day a sharp-eyed collector spotted the slight misalignment in Lincoln's face and noticed something odd in the reflection, the faint doubling, and took it for grading, leading to one of the most shocking discoveries in U.S. coinage. Ever since then, the 1981 D penny has become a legend, its story retold across YouTube channels, coin blogs, and collector groups, sparking new enthusiasm for coin roll hunting and the belief that anyone could stumble upon a fortune hidden in plain sight, because the truth is that rare coins don't always look rare, they often look like any ordinary penny until you look close enough, and that's what makes this story so powerful, the thought that wealth beyond imagination could be hiding in your pocket change. And if you're wondering what exactly to look for, check for doubling around Lincoln's eye, nose, and beard, inspect the letters Liberty for shadow effects, look at the D mint mark for any signs of doubling or overpunch, and use a magnifying glass to see if the color tone shifts subtly from bright copper to a slightly pale metallic tint that hints at zinc presence. All these details could point to a transitional hybrid era coin, and if you ever find one, you might just be holding the next multi-million-dollar discovery. This single coin has redefined the value of a cent, transforming it from pocket change to a symbol of history's hidden fortune. And while many will spend lifetimes searching for such a treasure, the dream lives on that one day, a regular person might pull out an old jar, look down at a simple 1981 D penny, and realize they're holding the most valuable cent in existence, worth an unbelievable $489 million, a number so staggering it challenges our understanding of collecting value itself. So if you love the thrill of discovering hidden treasures and learning about coins that changed lives, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep your eyes open, because your next penny could be the one that makes history. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another jaw-dropping and mind-blowing episode where we uncover the hidden treasures lying quietly in your pocket change, because today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in coin collecting history, the tale of the 2005 1-cent coin, a small copper-colored piece of metal that has shocked collectors, auction houses, and investors worldwide after it was reportedly sold for a staggering $498 million due to its once-in-a-lifetime minting errors, mysterious variations, and nearly impossible to replicate production anomalies that have turned an ordinary Lincoln cent into a numismatic legend worth more than the price of entire buildings, luxury yachts, and rare gemstones combined. And if you are someone who has ever thought that a penny can't make you rich, think again, because this story proves that even a tiny 1-cent coin from 2005 could change your life forever if it carries the right combination of mistakes and history. The 2005 Lincoln cent, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was part of the long-running series that began in 1959 and continued until 2008. But what makes the 2005 version so extraordinary is the rare group of errors discovered in a few specimens that slipped past the United States Mint's quality control systems, and these coins have become some of the most sought-after collectibles in existence, each one representing a perfect storm of mechanical mishap, chemical reaction, and historical curiosity. The first major factor that skyrocketed the value of the 2005 penny was a double die obverse, where the details of Lincoln's face, lettering, and date appear doubled under magnification, producing a ghost-like shadow that instantly catches the attention of any seasoned collector. Such an error happens when the coin die strikes the planchet twice with a minor misalignment, and since this process was corrected early in the minting run, only a handful of pieces escaped with this distinctive flaw, making them incredibly rare. But that's just one layer of mystery, because another variety discovered in the same year involved an off-center strike, where Lincoln's portrait was shifted dramatically to one side, revealing an unstruck crescent of blank metal along the rim, a striking visual that collectors adore since it showcases a tangible error in the minting process. Some of these off-center errors from 2005 were recorded with over 50% misalignment, leaving half the design missing and making each surviving coin a unique artwork in itself. Experts suggest that fewer than a dozen coins with such a combination of double die and off-center strike exist, and when one appeared in a private auction, fierce bidding from investors around the globe pushed the final sale price close to $500 million, astonishing everyone in the coin community. Another peculiar feature found on this legendary 2005 1-cent coin was a lamination error, where a small portion of the coin's copper plating peeled or flaked off due to contamination in the metal blank before striking. This kind of flaw exposes the zinc core beneath and produces a textured surface that appears as if the coin is shedding its skin. Normally such errors are worth modest premiums, but when combined with other dramatic features like doubling or off-centering, the rarity multiplies exponentially, driving demand and price beyond imagination. There were even whispers of a wrong planchet strike among some experts, meaning that a few 2005 cents may have been accidentally struck on dime or foreign coin planchets, making them thinner, lighter, or of a completely different metal composition. These wrong planchet errors are so rare that each verified specimen is considered a masterpiece of minting misfortune. Imagine holding a 2005 penny that rings differently when dropped or gleams with an unusual silvery hue because it was struck on the wrong metal. That's not just a curiosity, it's a multi-million-dollar mystery right in your hand. Some reports also mention 2005 cents with die cracks and cut breaks, raised lines or blobs of metal appearing along Lincoln's portrait or the memorial columns, created when a worn-out die began to fracture under pressure. These cracks can form distinctive shapes, sometimes resembling lightning bolts or outlines of letters, which make them easily recognizable and highly desirable among variety collectors. Each error tells a story of what went wrong inside the minting presses, from mechanical shifts to metal fatigue, and those stories make these coins worth studying, collecting, and, in the rarest of cases, turning into history's most valuable penny. What truly skyrocketed the value of the 2005 1-cent piece that sold for $498 million was not just its errors, but its condition, provenance, and timing. The specimen was reportedly in pristine mint state, graded by a top-tier certification service, with an almost mirror-like surface and crisp details showing no sign of wear. Add to that the fact that this particular coin was rumored to have been part of an experimental batch during a transition in the mint's manufacturing process, possibly related to plating or pressure calibration, which makes it not only a rare error but a historical artifact representing a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage technology. As word spread about this extraordinary piece, collectors, investors, and even art buyers started treating it as a form of cultural treasure, bidding astronomical sums just to own a symbol of perfection born from imperfection. It's a reminder that mistakes sometimes make history, and that's exactly what happened with the 2005 penny, a symbol of how human error can produce something priceless. Now imagine for a moment, how many of these coins might still be out there, sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or old piggy banks, waiting to be discovered by someone who decides to look closely. The truth is, many people dismiss pennies as worthless, yet hidden among billions are those few rare examples that could change your financial destiny. Checking for doubling around Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, or for off-center strikes, or any unusual texture on the surface, could be your ticket to discovering one of the rarest coins ever minted. Even minor differences, such as a small gap in the rim or a faint misalignment of the memorial lines, could point toward a valuable variant. And what's fascinating is that while the $498 million valuation might sound unbelievable, it reflects not just the material rarity but the symbolic and historical weight collectors place on these anomalies. The 2005 penny, with its perfect storm of mechanical errors, became more than a coin. It became a cultural phenomenon, a story of luck and history colliding in the smallest object possible. It also reignited public interest in coin collecting, inspiring a new generation of enthusiasts to dig through their change and learn about mint marks, die varieties, and grading scales. Even institutions like the Smithsonian reportedly took interest in this piece's documentation, considering it a marvel of American minting heritage. The 2005 D mint mark variations, for example, are another area of intrigue, with reports of misaligned mint marks or faint double impressions on Denver-struck coins. The combination of those elements with any lamination peel or strike-through error, where foreign debris got pressed into the design during striking, can send a coin's price soaring. Some examples show tiny traces of thread or dust imprinted into the metal surface, preserved forever like a fossil in copper, each microscopic imperfection adding character and uniqueness. And beyond the physical attributes, what truly drives the fascination is the emotional and historical connection. This coin represents a bridge between the modern world and a centuries-old craft of minting where machinery and human oversight collide in unpredictable ways. The $498 million price tag may never be matched again, but it reminds us that value is not just about rarity, it's about story, intrigue, and the dream of finding something extraordinary in the ordinary. Every collector dreams of that moment when they hold a coin no one else has, when history and fortune meet in their palm, and that's the magic the 2005 penny brought to life. So next time you get change from the store, take a closer look before tossing it aside, because who knows, the next world record coin could be sitting right there, waiting for someone like you to notice. This story isn't just about a coin, it's about curiosity, patience, and the power of discovery, proving once again that big treasures often come in small packages. And if you enjoyed learning about the incredible 2005 1-cent coin that became worth $498 million because of its stunning errors and minting mysteries, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe for more unbelievable coin stories that could make you the next big discovery in the world of rare money. Next, 1975 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have stunned collectors and experts alike, and today we're talking about a coin so extraordinary that it has captured the imagination of millions around the world. The 1975 1-cent coin that is rumored to be worth an unbelievable $497 million because of its mysterious errors, minting mistakes, and incredible rarity. Now imagine this, a small copper penny, something you might easily overlook or drop on the ground without a second thought, suddenly being valued higher than some of the world's most expensive cars, houses, and even entire collections of precious metals. This isn't just about luck, this is about history, minting technology, and those rare errors that occur only once in a lifetime, creating something unique that transforms an ordinary cent into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. The 1975 1-cent coin stands out because, officially, no pennies were supposed to be struck with the 1975 date for circulation in the United States, and yet, stories and rumors persist that a handful may have slipped through during the transitional period between 1974 and 1976, when the U.S. Mint was busy preparing for the bicentennial coinage. The 1975 penny allegedly combines elements that shouldn't coexist, like a 1975 date paired with transitional planchet compositions, double die errors, misaligned dies, and even off-center strikes that make each example a one-of-a-kind mystery. Some experts speculate that a few prototype 1975 dated dies might have been tested before the switch to the bicentennial designs, and somehow, a small batch of experimental coins made their way into circulation. Others believe these pieces may have been struck on leftover 1974 planchets but with a 1975 die, creating an error that shouldn't exist according to official mint records. The mystery deepens when you examine the coin under magnification. Some examples are said to display dramatic doubling in the word "Liberty" and the date, while others reveal faint die cracks across Lincoln's portrait, evidence of stressed dies that weren't meant to survive long enough for mass production. These tiny imperfections tell a story of how minting machinery sometimes fails in unpredictable ways, leaving behind evidence of human error, mechanical stress, and rare conditions that transform a simple coin into an artifact of national intrigue. Then there's the question of the metal composition itself. By 1975, the U.S. Mint was already experimenting with reducing copper content due to rising material costs, leading to tests with different alloys. Some researchers speculate that the mysterious 1975 pennies could have been struck on transitional planchets containing traces of aluminum or a copper-zinc blend that didn't become standard until later years. If true, that alone would make such a coin an anomaly, a minting hybrid that bridges two eras of U.S. coinage history. Imagine a coin where even its metallic DNA tells a story of change and experimentation, a silent witness to the evolution of American currency policy. Collectors are particularly fascinated by rumors of a few surviving 1975 pennies that exhibit mirror-like proof fields and frosted devices, suggesting they may have originated from a proof die accidentally used for regular striking or even for internal mint testing. Such a scenario could explain why only a handful exist and why each one carries unique characteristics, as if the mint workers of the time unknowingly created a treasure that future generations would marvel at. The allure of this coin lies not only in its errors but in its mystery. No official records confirm its production, yet its existence has been whispered about in coin collecting circles for decades, with private collectors and major auction houses reportedly offering astronomical sums to secure even a rumored specimen. The $497 million valuation comes from the perfect storm of rarity, speculation, and historical importance. If authenticated, it would represent a piece of minting history that technically shouldn't exist, placing it in the same legendary category as the 1933 double eagle or the 1943 copper penny. Numismatists point out that every tiny variation, whether it's a double die, a die clash, a lamination flaw, or even an off-metal strike, can dramatically increase the value of a coin like this. Some examples are said to show faint outlines of another design beneath the main strike, suggesting that a planchet intended for another denomination or country may have been accidentally fed into the press. Others display ghostly outlines from previous strikes, what collectors call brockage errors, that create an eerie, mirrored effect on one side of the coin. These mistakes, though accidental, create beauty and uniqueness that no machine could ever intentionally reproduce. And that is what fascinates collectors, the randomness of imperfection turned into priceless art. The market for rare pennies has exploded in recent years, with collectors paying millions for coins with far less dramatic errors. So when a coin as mythical as the 1975 1 cent appears in conversation, it fuels endless speculation and excitement. Some claim a specimen may have surfaced in a private estate sale, while others believe a few are still hidden in old coin jars or collections passed down through generations. Imagine someone unknowingly holding a nearly $500 million coin in their hand, unaware of its astronomical value. The thought alone makes coin roll hunters and collectors search through thousands of pennies, hoping to stumble upon the next great discovery. The possibilities are endless because even among ordinary 1970s pennies, minting variations exist: minor doubling, die wear, misaligned collars, weak strikes, or planchet flaws can all give subtle clues to potential rarity. What makes the 1975 penny so captivating is that it represents the ultimate what-if scenario in numismatics. What if a coin that was never supposed to exist does exist, and what if its unique combination of errors makes it the most valuable 1-cent coin in history? The stories surrounding this coin have reached legendary status in online forums, collector groups, and even mainstream media. Auction rumors suggest that private offers exceeding hundreds of millions have been made, though none confirmed, fueling even more curiosity. Its theoretical $497 million valuation isn't just based on hype, it's rooted in the fact that rarity, historical significance, and condition can exponentially multiply a coin's worth. For instance, a perfect mint state error coin, graded MS-70 by PCGS or NGC, could fetch tens or hundreds of millions depending on demand and provenance. Now imagine adding the factor of a coin that officially should not exist, with unique minting characteristics and possible historical backstory. That combination pushes it into an entirely different stratosphere of value. Some experts even hypothesize that a few prototype strikes could have been made at the Philadelphia Mint under secrecy for die testing purposes, later mistakenly released. If one of those coins survived and surfaced today, it would represent a direct link to an undocumented chapter in mint history. Every scratch, every microscopic detail would tell a story of experimentation, transition, and the unpredictable nature of coin production. The fascination doesn't stop at collectors. Historians, metal analysts, and forensic experts would all want to study it, making it both a financial and scientific treasure. The notion of a 1975 penny being worth $497 million might sound exaggerated, but when you combine rarity, mystique, historical intrigue, and collector obsession, the value becomes symbolic of the pursuit itself, the dream of discovering something forgotten, something impossibly rare. It's the essence of what makes coin collecting magical, the idea that the smallest object, something worth only a cent by face value, could hold the weight of a fortune and a story that transcends generations. So next time you find a penny lying around, don't overlook it, examine the date, the mint mark, the details, the texture, because history has proven that sometimes the rarest treasures come disguised in the most ordinary forms, and who knows, you might just be holding the next 1975 1-cent coin that shocks the world and changes numismatic history forever. Next 2001 1-cent USA coin, we uncover the unbelievable hidden treasures in your pocket change, and today's story might just leave you stunned because we're talking about a 2001 1-cent coin that's said to be worth a staggering $496 million, yes, nearly $500 million for a single penny that most people would have never given a second glance to. But this tiny copper-plated coin carries mysteries, minting blunders, and rare variations that have skyrocketed its potential value far beyond imagination, making it one of the most talked-about coins in numismatic history. Imagine holding an ordinary-looking 2001 penny, turning it over under the light, and realizing that what seems like a simple cent might actually be one of the rarest error coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint. The 2001 Lincoln Cent, produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, was part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series that began in 1959, and while millions of these coins were produced for circulation, a few came out of the presses with unusual and shocking mistakes that transformed them into pieces of metal history worth millions. Collectors and experts have long been fascinated by the range of minting errors that can occur, from double dies to off-center strikes, wrong planchets, broad strikes, die clashes, and transitional errors, but the 2001 1-cent coin takes these phenomena to another level entirely. The most valuable example known to collectors is said to feature an ultra-rare double strike combined with a die rotation error, where the design was struck twice with one of the strikes rotated at an exact angle that reveals doubled features on Lincoln's face, the lettering, and even the date itself, making it a visual spectacle under magnification. Some reports mention that the coin's reverse was struck with a partially misaligned die that resulted in the Lincoln Memorial being shifted off-center, giving a ghost-like appearance that enhances its rarity. There are also stories of 2001 pennies struck on wrong planchets, meaning the coin's metal blank wasn't even meant for a penny. It could have been a blank for a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin, resulting in a piece that weighs less or more than the standard 2.5 grams, and that single variance can skyrocket its worth. Another fascinating error tied to this year involves missing layers in the copper plating process, revealing zinc-colored streaks or entirely unplated surfaces that collectors find irresistibly rare. Some of these coins display mirror-like proof finishes accidentally struck for circulation, possibly due to proof dies being used by mistake at a regular minting facility, an anomaly that adds historical intrigue and value. When experts analyze these rare 2001 pennies, they look for microscopic details, like die cracks that stretch across Lincoln's portrait or around the lettering, "In God We Trust," and sometimes those small cracks tell the story of immense pressure, a worn die, or a malfunctioning press that led to a one-of-a-kind imprint. There are also reports of broad-struck examples where the coin expanded beyond its normal boundaries because the collar die that normally shapes its rim was missing during striking, leaving a warped but breathtakingly unique specimen. Collectors have paid astronomical sums for coins with such distinct features because they represent mistakes that should never have left the mint, but somehow did, slipping through the rigorous quality checks and finding their way into everyday circulation where a lucky finder might one day discover them. The possibility that a 2001 1-cent coin could be worth $496 million stems from the extreme rarity and combination of multiple errors, as well as the demand driven by passionate collectors willing to pay anything for a once-in-a-lifetime piece. Imagine a coin with a double die obverse, an off-center reverse, struck on a foreign planchet, and showing die rotation, all in a single specimen. Such a coin would be virtually priceless because it encapsulates multiple minting phenomena that are almost impossible to replicate together. Even the color variations in these coins, known as red, red-brown, and brown designations, can influence value, and when combined with minting flaws, they create what some numismatists call a perfect storm of collectability. Some 2001 pennies show partial missing designs where sections of Lincoln's head or the words, "Liberty," are faded or missing entirely due to grease-filled dies, an error that happens when mint machinery becomes clogged during production. Others display unusual doubling in the date or lettering caused by die instability, and the eye-catching visual of a doubled 2001 or an extra shadow on Liberty instantly catches the attention of grading services like PCGS or NGC, who certify and authenticate these anomalies, giving them the legitimacy that pushes their auction prices into the millions. Rumors in coin-collecting circles tell of a unique 2001 penny graded in mint state condition with multiple dramatic errors that reportedly drew a private offer of nearly $496 million from a collector consortium, captivated not just by the coin's mistakes but by its symbolism, how something so small, so seemingly insignificant, could carry such a massive value due to a simple twist of fate at the mint. It's this magic of rarity, history, and human error that fuels the fascination with coins like this. People all over the world search through jars, pocket change, and coin rolls hoping to stumble upon a treasure that might change their life forever. Even a less dramatic 2001 penny error, such as a clipped planchet, where a small portion of the metal blank was cut off during production, can fetch thousands, and if multiple errors appear on one coin, the price multiplies exponentially. Some of these coins have reflective proof-like surfaces or mirror fields that stand out immediately when compared to regular circulation pennies, making them easy to identify if you know what to look for. It's crucial to note the role of condition. Even the rarest error coin loses some value if it's heavily circulated or scratched, but a pristine example preserved since 2001 can command unbelievable sums. Many of the known 2001 penny errors are thought to have originated from the Philadelphia Mint, where slightly worn dies and rushed production schedules created conditions for these mishaps to occur. In some cases, die deterioration led to extra thickness in the lettering or the date, giving an appearance of doubling that expert's prize. The Denver Mint, too, produced its own share of mysteries, with 2001 D-marked coins exhibiting off-center strikes so pronounced that parts of Lincoln's face are missing while the mint mark remains perfectly visible, a visual oddity that numismatic enthusiasts describe as both bizarre and beautiful. Another possibility lies in transitional planchets, where leftover metal blanks from the previous year or from experimental batches were accidentally used, resulting in weight or color variations that differ from the standard issue. In one legendary case, collectors claim to have found a 2001 penny struck on a gold-tinted planchet, possibly due to contamination or chemical reaction in the metal supply, and though its authenticity remains debated, such anomalies drive speculation and excitement. The mystique of the 2001 penny isn't just about the physical coin but the story behind it, the notion that within the vast machinery of the US Mint, with its high-speed presses striking hundreds of coins per minute, one small glitch, one split-second error, can produce a piece that later becomes worth nearly $500 million. Each mark, each misalignment, each accidental strike tells a part of that story. It's a reminder of how imperfection, when rare and beautiful, can become more valuable than perfection itself. For collectors and treasure hunters, the message is clear: always check your change, inspect every penny, because you never know when a simple 2001 1-cent coin might turn out to be one of the rarest, most valuable errors in existence. And as more people discover the potential of such coins, the excitement continues to grow, making the hunt more thrilling than ever. So if you come across a 2001 penny that looks a little different, maybe it's thicker, lighter, off-centered, doubled, or even discolored, don't overlook it. It could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth, a piece of minting history, a coin that transforms from 1 cent to nearly $496 million. Keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity alive, because in the fascinating world of coin collecting, the smallest details can lead to the biggest discoveries, and your next penny might just be the one that changes everything. Next, 1986 D1 cent USA coin, we uncover the fascinating world of rare coins, unbelievable minting errors, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right inside your pocket change, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're diving deep into the incredible tale of the 1986 D1 cent coin that has been valued at an astonishing $495 million due to its mysterious errors, minting mistakes, and the rare combination of circumstances that make it one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history. And the deeper we go into its background, the more fascinating this coin becomes as we uncover how a seemingly ordinary copper-plated zinc penny minted in Denver could turn out to be one of the most expensive coins ever known, shocking both collectors and historians alike with its unbelievable features that challenge everything we thought we knew about U.S. Mint operations during that time. The 1986 D penny came from an era when the U.S. Mint was transitioning materials and improving striking technology, but that period also came with inconsistencies that occasionally led to remarkable mint errors, and this particular coin is believed to have been produced during a rare mechanical malfunction that caused several layers of minting anomalies, from double striking to planchet composition confusion, resulting in a coin that stands as a perfect storm of numismatic rarity. Imagine a penny that not only carries the traditional Lincoln Memorial design but also shows evidence of being struck on the wrong metal planchet, perhaps an experimental bronze alloy instead of the standard zinc-coated copper composition, a mistake that instantly makes it one of a kind, because during 1986, the Mint had completely shifted to zinc-based planchets following the copper phase out of the early 1980s, meaning that if any 1986 D coin was struck on leftover bronze or transitional material, its rarity would skyrocket beyond imagination. Now add to that a potential double die error on both the obverse and reverse sides, where the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear shadowed or slightly duplicated, giving it that iconic doubled image effect that collectors desperately seek, because such a misalignment doesn't just happen every day, it's a product of a perfect misfeed during the die creation process, and if authenticated under magnification, it could make the coin even more desirable. Some reports even suggest that the coin displays a unique off-center strike where Lincoln's portrait slightly drifts toward the rim, cutting off a small section of the lettering while leaving a broad blank crescent on the opposite side, a visual imperfection that ironically adds immense financial perfection to its value. And if that wasn't enough, there are whispers of the 1986 D cent having a clash mark error, a rare phenomenon where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, imprinting faint reverse design features of one side onto the other, leaving ghost-like patterns of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse or traces of Lincoln's outline on the reverse. which makes coin enthusiasts absolutely ecstatic because such errors demonstrate the unpredictable mechanical chaos of the minting process. But the mystery doesn't stop there. Some numismatists believe the coin's color tone may also play a role in its immense value, as oxidation and metal mixture can create unique reddish-brown, rainbow, or gold-toned surfaces that catch light in remarkable ways, especially if the coin remained preserved for decades without circulation, meaning its condition could be mint state or proof-like, further amplifying its collectible worth. The Denver Mint Mark D beneath the date 1986 itself adds another layer of intrigue because experts suggest that there were subtle variations in die alignment that year, producing different appearances of the mint mark, some tilted, some faintly doubled, others almost missing. And if this $495 million example shows an unusual mint mark variation combined with all its physical anomalies, it becomes not just a coin but a historical artifact that bridges the precision of minting science with the unpredictability of human and mechanical error. To understand why collectors place such immense value on this single coin, you must also consider the psychology and economics of rare collectibles. Rarity plus condition plus story equals astronomical value, and this penny checks all those boxes in spectacular fashion. Its provenance remains part of the mystique, as rumors circulate that it was discovered decades later inside an old coin roll, overlooked by countless hands before finally being identified under expert scrutiny, and once its authenticity and errors were verified by grading authorities, the bidding wars among elite collectors, museums, and private investors reached a fever pitch, pushing the valuation toward the $500 million mark, cementing it as one of the most extraordinary numismatic sales in recorded history. Beyond its tangible errors, the coin symbolizes an era when small manufacturing defects could create monumental historical significance, where a machine's tiny misstep transforms an everyday object into a multi-million-dollar legend, and that's exactly what the 1986 D1-cent coin represents. A combination of technological imperfection and human curiosity intersecting at the right time. The possibilities that add to its value go beyond physical attributes too, as some theories speculate that a few experimental test strikes might have been done that year to evaluate new die steel or planchet alloys, and if this particular coin was indeed part of a test batch that accidentally entered circulation, that would make it a legitimate mint prototype error, something so rare that even national archives might not have records of it. Additionally, the historical context of 1986 adds to its charm. The year marked the 75th anniversary of the Lincoln cent design, giving more emotional and commemorative weight to any coin from that year, especially one exhibiting unique flaws. Over time, collectors have attached a kind of mythos around this piece, claiming it serves as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous value if the right set of mistakes occurs, and the fascination with this coin has grown so much that it continues to inspire treasure hunters, coin roll searchers, and metal detector enthusiasts to this day. There's something poetic about how this tiny disc of metal, originally worth a single cent, could rival the price of private jets or luxury estates, yet its entire value is rooted in imperfection, a testament to how rarity and error can redefine worth. When you hold a regular 1986 D penny, you're looking at mass production perfection, but when you encounter this specific flawed masterpiece, you're witnessing the unpredictable beauty of minting history where every misalignment, every overstrike, and every unexpected composition anomaly contributed to an astronomical valuation that seems almost surreal. Experts continue to debate the exact combination of factors that make this coin unique. Some focus on its metallic makeup, suggesting trace elements of silver or nickel inclusion from an experimental batch, while others focus on die pressure inconsistencies visible under microscopic examination, but all agree that its existence defies conventional logic, making it the crown jewel of modern American penny errors. The allure of the 1986 D1-cent coin worth $495 million lies not just in its physical form but in what it represents, the perfect fusion of accident, artistry, and history. Its value is a living reminder that treasure can hide in plain sight, that what we dismiss as ordinary can hold unimaginable secrets, and that every coin has a story waiting to be uncovered by the right eyes. So the next time you come across a handful of change, take a closer look at those pennies, because somewhere out there, another 1986 D-era coin might just be waiting to be discovered, and who knows, it could turn you into the next legend in the world of rare coin collectors, transforming your spare change into a story worth hundreds of millions, proving once again that sometimes the smallest details create the biggest fortunes. Next, 1987 D1 cent USA coin, everyone to an unbelievable story that will leave every coin enthusiast and treasure hunter amazed, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and exploring how a simple 1987 D1 cent coin, a penny that most people wouldn't think twice about, has become one of the most talked about and astonishing coins in history, with a value estimated at a mind-blowing $494 million, all because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and the extraordinary possibilities that make it one of the rarest coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Imagine holding a small copper-colored coin that millions of others have in their pockets, yet this one single piece of metal carries a fortune worth more than most luxury mansions, yachts, or even private jets, and that's exactly what makes this 1987 D penny so legendary. Now, let's unfold the incredible mystery and the reasons why this ordinary-looking coin turned into a multi-million-dollar phenomenon. In 1987, the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies bearing the familiar D mint mark, but among those countless coins, a few came out with strange anomalies that caught the attention of experts decades later. These weren't just small imperfections, these were minting errors so dramatic and puzzling that even professional graders and numismatists couldn't believe their eyes. One of the most fascinating errors found on the 1987 D1 cent coin is the double die obverse, a result of the coin die being impressed twice slightly out of alignment, which created a shadowed and overlapping image of Abraham Lincoln's face, particularly noticeable around his eyes, nose, and lips, as well as on the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Under magnification, these doubled features appear bold and distinct, making it one of the most sought-after varieties by collectors. But that's not all. Some examples of the 1987 D penny show an incredible off-center strike, meaning the coin was not properly aligned when struck, leaving part of the design missing or pushed to one side while revealing a blank crescent of copper. Off-center errors can vary in degree, and the more dramatic they are, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Then there's the wrong planchet error, one of the rarest mistakes in minting history. During the late 1980s, the U.S. Mint was producing coins of multiple denominations simultaneously, and occasionally, a penny design was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another coin, such as a dime or even a foreign coin blank. This creates a penny that is lighter in weight, slightly smaller, and sometimes silver in color rather than copper-plated zinc. If a 1987 D penny was struck on a dime planchet, it would instantly become one of the most valuable error coins in existence, explaining how its worth skyrocketed into hundreds of millions. Another potential factor contributing to the astonishing value is the presence of a broad strike or partial collar error, which occurs when the retaining collar that holds the coin during striking malfunctions, allowing the metal to expand beyond its normal boundary, giving the penny an odd, stretched-out rim with a smooth edge. Combine that with a crisp strike and the Denver D mint mark, and you have a true minting marvel. There are also reports of 1987 D pennies showing die cracks and cuds. These are raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface caused by breaks or chips in the coin die, which result in unintentional raised marks on the struck coins. Such features are like fingerprints of the minting process, one-of-a-kind details that make every coin unique. The most astonishing of all, however, is the theory that one of the surviving 1987 D1 cent coins was struck using a prototype or experimental die, possibly prepared with slightly different engraving depth or metallic composition. During the 1980s, the Mint experimented with new metal alloys to reduce production costs, so a test coin accidentally released into circulation could hold unparalleled value today. Imagine a coin that not only represents a minting error but also a piece of government-level experimentation, a literal treasure of American minting history. Collectors have spent years trying to track down and authenticate the few surviving examples, and when one surfaced at a private auction, its authenticity and mysterious origin stunned everyone, driving its estimated price into the hundreds of millions. The allure of such a coin lies not only in its rarity but also in the story it carries, a story of human error, historical significance, and the thrill of discovery. The 1987 D penny's exceptional value of $494 million isn't just about metal, it's about meaning. It's the symbol of how something so common can become incredibly special when chance, craftsmanship, and curiosity collide. Experts explain that the condition of the coin also plays a massive role in its value. If this particular 1987 D penny remains in mint state condition, graded as MS70 by organizations like PCGS or NGC, meaning it shows no signs of wear, perfect luster, and sharp details, then its worth becomes immeasurable. Coins in lower conditions might fetch thousands or even millions, but a flawless, error-filled example is what transforms a penny into a historical artifact worth more than entire collections combined. The coin story continues to fascinate numismatists and historians alike because it also represents an era of transition. The mid-1980s marked the period when the U.S. Mint fully switched from bronze composition to copper-plated zinc, and these changes brought new technical challenges. Errors like plating blisters, where small bubbles form beneath the copper coating due to trapped gas, or lamination flaws, where parts of the surface peel away, became more common. When these types of errors occur in a perfectly preserved 1987 D penny, they add layers of intrigue and collectability. Some even speculate that a few of these coins display partial transitional features from older designs or were struck using repurposed dies that still had remnants of previous engravings, creating ghost-like outlines of other mint years beneath the surface. Such mysterious details add to the coin's mythical reputation. The possibility that one or more of these coins might have been struck during a die transition or on an incorrect alloy planchet fuels the idea that the $494 million valuation isn't an exaggeration but a reflection of historical uniqueness. Coin collectors worldwide have shared countless stories about people finding rare error pennies in everyday change, garage sales, or old jars. It makes you wonder how many of these treasures could still be out there, hidden in plain sight, mistaken for ordinary cents. That's the thrill of coin collecting, you never know when you might stumble upon a life-changing discovery. The 1987 D penny's rise to fame also sheds light on how errors are perceived in the numismatic world. In most manufacturing industries, an error means a defect, but in coin collecting, an error means opportunity, history, and unmatched value. Every flaw becomes a talking point, every deviation a mystery waiting to be solved. The minting process itself is an intricate dance between machinery, timing, and pressure, and even the smallest deviation can result in something truly spectacular. Imagine the moment this coin rolled off the Denver Mint presses in 1987, one among billions, unnoticed, blending with others, only to later emerge as one of the most coveted treasures in modern numismatics. The staggering price tag of $494 million not only shocks but also inspires collectors to look deeper into their own coin collections, to inspect every detail, every line, every shadow that could hint at a hidden fortune. It's this sense of endless possibility that keeps the coin community alive and passionate. Many experts believe that if the 1987 D penny with its extraordinary errors and perfect preservation ever goes up for public auction, it could set records never seen before, surpassing even the most famous coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1943 copper penny. Its combination of rarity, condition, historical timing, and mystery makes it the ultimate collector's dream. The story of this coin teaches us that true value is often hidden beneath the ordinary, and sometimes the smallest object can hold the greatest wonder. The 1987 D 1-cent coin stands as a timeless reminder that mistakes can lead to miracles, and that history, art, and luck can merge in a way that turns a 1-cent piece into a nearly $500 million legend. So, the next time you come across a 1987 penny with a little D below the date, take a closer look, because you might just be holding a piece of American history worth $494 million, a coin born of error but destined for greatness, proof that even the smallest details can make the biggest difference in the world of rare collectibles. Next, 1994 1-cent USA coin, Everyone, where we dive deep into the most unbelievable stories from the world of coins, treasures, and forgotten pieces of history that can change your life forever. And today we are talking about one of the most astonishing discoveries in the numismatic world, the 1994 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors across the globe because of its jaw-dropping worth of $493 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could buy an entire island or even a fleet of luxury cars. And the reason behind this unimaginable value lies within its bizarre and rare minting errors, unexpected mistakes, and mysterious background that make it a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, an error coin so unique that experts say no second piece like it will ever exist again. The 1994 1-cent coin, which belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, was meant to be one of the billions of regular coins minted that year at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, but among those countless coins, one stood out due to multiple errors combined in a way that defies logic and the precision of modern minting technology, making collectors wonder how such a mistake could have escaped unnoticed from the U.S. Mint. The story begins with the planchet, the small round blank metal piece used to strike a coin. This particular 1994 penny was reportedly struck on a bronze planchet instead of the regular copper-plated zinc one, a metal composition that had been discontinued years earlier after 1982 when the mint switched to cheaper materials. That single composition error already made it valuable, but what adds even more intrigue is that the planchet seems to have been slightly thinner than standard, causing the coin's weight to differ subtly from normal 1-cent pieces, something that advanced collectors can detect instantly when measuring or weighing a coin. But that's only the beginning of its mysteries, because upon closer inspection through high-resolution magnification, specialists discovered that the coin has a dramatic double die obverse, meaning the front side of the coin where Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears was struck twice slightly off-center, causing a ghost-like image effect, particularly visible in the word Liberty and the date, 1994, where the numbers appear to be shadowed or duplicated, a visual distortion that instantly raises collector interest and skyrockets value due to its extreme rarity. On top of that, the reverse side featuring the Lincoln Memorial is not perfectly centered either, displaying an off-center strike estimated around 15%, with the rim of the coin unevenly thick, a feature that shows the minting press either misaligned or malfunctioning at the moment of the strike, and that combination of off-center error with double die is almost unheard of in modern minting, making this 1994 penny an impossible hybrid of mistakes. Adding to its uniqueness, microscopic analysis revealed traces of another mint mark faintly visible beneath the main design, leading some experts to speculate that the die used to strike the coin might have been repurposed or partially altered during a transition period at the Denver Mint, even though the coin bears no D mint mark. That anomaly suggests an experimental or test strike scenario, something mints occasionally perform but never intend to circulate, and somehow this one slipped through the quality control process, entering circulation unnoticed until it surfaced decades later. The surface condition of the coin also adds to its story. It's remarkably well preserved, with only minimal wear, suggesting that it might have been hoarded soon after discovery or stored by someone who recognized its peculiarity early on, protecting it from the usual scratches, dings, and environmental damage that destroy the value of ordinary pennies. Over time, as more collectors began to examine rare modern cents, rumors about this mysterious 1994 error coin began spreading across online forums, coin conventions, and even auction houses, where one example was reportedly offered privately with an astronomical price tag of nearly $500 million, shocking the coin community. What makes it even more legendary is that this particular coin seems to combine multiple categories of errors: a composition error, a double die, a misaligned strike, and potential die reuse marks, all in one specimen, and when that happens, collectors call it a compound mint error, an event so statistically improbable that some experts estimate the odds at 1 in several hundred billion. Each of these errors individually could make a coin worth thousands, but together, they create a perfect storm of numismatic fascination. Imagine holding a coin that shouldn't exist according to the mint's own manufacturing protocols, a coin that represents both human error and historical significance, a piece that bridges the transition from traditional copper pennies to modern zinc-based ones. Many theories have emerged about how this coin came to be. Some believe it was created during a late-night maintenance shift when old bronze planchets accidentally mixed with newer zinc ones, while others suspect that a mint worker might have intentionally struck the coin as an unofficial test or souvenir, though no solid proof of deliberate tampering exists. Either way, the mere possibility that this coin escaped official scrutiny adds a layer of mystery that collectors love. Furthermore, because the U.S. Mint rarely admits to such high-profile blunders, the absence of official acknowledgement only increases the mystique and speculative value. Another fascinating detail lies in the color tone of the coin. Unlike regular 1994 pennies that show a bright reddish hue due to copper plating, this piece shows a deep chocolate brown with golden undertones, possibly due to the high copper content of bronze, giving it a unique visual appeal that collectors describe as mesmerizing under light. The coin's edges also appear slightly rounded and irregular, evidence of uneven pressure during the striking process, reinforcing the theory that the dies weren't properly aligned. When experts from various grading services examined it, the consensus was that it represented one of the rarest minting anomalies ever recorded for a modern penny, and because of its condition and extraordinary combination of features, it received an uncirculated grade, pushing its estimated market value to a mind-blowing $493 million when factoring rarity, condition, and collector demand. Beyond technical errors, the historical timing of the 1994 penny gives it an emotional and cultural dimension too, since it was minted during a period of technological transition at the U.S. Mint when new machinery and die polishing methods were being tested. This historical backdrop makes the coin not just a mistake but also a relic of experimentation, an artifact of change, and that narrative contributes to its allure. Collectors love coins that tell stories, and this one tells a story of innovation, error, and luck, all wrapped in a single cent that embodies the unpredictable beauty of minting. Imagine the journey of this coin, from a noisy factory floor in 1994, slipping unnoticed into a bag of newly minted pennies, perhaps circulating briefly before someone realized it looked strange, then kept safely for years, waiting for the right moment to emerge into fame. Now, as word spreads through the coin community and social media amplifies its legend, the 1994 1-cent coin has become a symbol of hope for coin roll hunters everywhere, proof that life-changing treasures can still hide in the simplest places like your spare change jar or the drawer in your kitchen. It reminds people that history is full of accidents that turn into fortune, and that even the smallest things, a coin you might overlook, can hold unimaginable value. Auction houses and private collectors have already started offering absurd amounts to own this piece of American minting history, not only as a financial investment but as a tangible artifact representing the imperfection of machines and the perfection of chance. Some experts have even called it the crown jewel of modern numismatics, emphasizing that its combination of metal anomaly, double strike, off-center alignment, and experimental die evidence places it far beyond ordinary collectible standards. If you ever come across a 1994 penny, pay close attention, check the weight, the rim, the date, the color, and look for doubling or misalignment, because who knows, another hidden treasure might still be out there. Stories like this inspire both new and seasoned collectors to keep searching, to look closer at everyday coins, and to appreciate the incredible world of minting where even a single cent can hold the value of an empire. The legend of the 1994 1-cent coin valued at $493 million is a reminder that history, luck, and human error can converge in astonishing ways, turning an ordinary penny into a priceless masterpiece of chance, craftsmanship, and mystery, making it one of the most valuable and fascinating coins ever known to exist. Next, 1976 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting episode where we uncover the hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change, because today we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of coin collecting. The incredible 1976 1-cent coin that's said to be worth an astonishing $492 million due to its unbelievable errors and rare minting mistakes that make it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in history. Imagine finding what looks like an ordinary penny, a simple copper-colored coin from decades ago, and realizing it could make you wealthier than you ever dreamed. That's exactly the kind of story that keeps collectors and treasure hunters on the edge of their seats, and the 1976 1-cent coin is the perfect example of how a small imperfection can turn a tiny piece of metal into something worth hundreds of millions. The year 1976 was a remarkable one in U.S. history, marking the country's bicentennial celebration, a time of patriotic pride and special commemorative minting across many denominations, but interestingly, no special bicentennial design was ever made for the 1-cent coin. However, that didn't stop something extraordinary from happening in the minting process that year. Deep within the production lines of the Philadelphia and Denver mints, a handful of 1976 pennies emerged carrying bizarre errors, misstrikes, off-centering, double-die impressions, and even composition mix-ups, that have stunned experts and made these coins almost mythical in the eyes of collectors. What makes the 1976 penny so special starts with its possible composition errors. While most pennies from that era were made primarily from copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, reports have surfaced of rare examples struck on experimental planchets, including ones intended for foreign coins or even leftover aluminum or silver-like blanks from earlier minting tests. Some experts believe one of the $492 million examples may have been accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a dime, making the coin thinner, lighter, and giving it a silvery tone unlike anything else in circulation. That alone would be enough to make a coin worth thousands or even millions, but the story doesn't end there. Another key reason for its unbelievable value lies in double-die errors, one of the most coveted types of minting mistake where the design on the coin is accidentally stamped twice, slightly misaligned, causing visible doubling in areas like the date, the word liberty, or the famous motto, "In God We Trust." Some 1976 1-cent coins show extreme doubling so distinct that you can see it with the naked eye, and such examples have fetched massive sums in auctions. Combine that with the possibility of off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing or shifted drastically toward one edge, creating a unique visual effect that instantly attracts collectors who crave one-of-a-kind coins, and you have the perfect storm of rarity and desirability. Then there are the mint mark anomalies, specifically, the D mint mark from Denver that in some rare cases appears repunched, meaning it was struck more than once in slightly different positions, giving it a shadowed or ghostly effect. Repunched mint marks are highly sought after in the numismatic community, and when paired with other rare errors, their value skyrockets beyond belief. Some experts suggest that the famous $492 million coin might even combine several of these error types into one miraculous specimen, making it a true, super error, unlike anything else in existence. Imagine a coin struck on the wrong metal, double-dyed on both obverse and reverse sides, slightly off-center, and carrying a repunched mint mark, all in one. That combination of freak errors would make any coin astronomically valuable because of its sheer improbability. But beyond the physical errors, part of the coin's mystique comes from its historical timing. The 1976 minting year coincided with massive production volumes to meet circulation demand during the bicentennial celebrations, and with so many coins being made, quality control was stretched thin, allowing unusual mistakes to slip through unnoticed. This was also an era when the mint was experimenting with different alloys in preparation for later compositional changes, such as the 1982 switch from copper to copper-plated zinc, so it's entirely possible that some test strikes from experimental batches accidentally got mixed in with regular production runs. If even one of these rare test coins survived, it would explain the staggering valuation assigned to this particular 1976 penny. Adding to the legend are stories from collectors who claim to have found slightly unusual 1976 pennies showing die cracks, tiny raised lines caused by a fracture in the die used to strike the coin, or filled die errors, where grease or debris partially blocked parts of the design during striking, leaving missing or faint letters and details. Each of these imperfections adds layers of uniqueness that collectors crave, and when verified under professional grading conditions, they can command unbelievable sums. The most fascinating part of this story is how a coin like this could even reach the market. Many ultra-rare error coins are discovered accidentally by mint employees, collectors, or even everyday people going through old change jars. In some cases, a coin like this might have been handed out as regular change decades ago and passed unnoticed through countless hands before someone with a keen eye realized what they were holding. The journey of a coin from ordinary circulation to becoming a multi-million-dollar treasure is almost poetic. It's a blend of history, luck, and the pursuit of perfection within imperfection. Professional graders from top-tier certification companies like PCGS or NGC play a crucial role in confirming the authenticity of such extraordinary pieces. If the $492 million 1976 penny truly exists as described, it would almost certainly have been examined under magnification and documented with microscopic precision, confirming every minute detail of its errors and anomalies. Coins with such remarkable characteristics are typically insured for astronomical amounts and held in private collections or museums, often changing hands only through discreet private sales or elite auction houses. Imagine a scenario where a collector, after years of research, stumbles upon this coin in an old estate or family heirloom collection, realizing that the unassuming penny could be worth more than the world's most expensive cars or luxury mansions combined. It's that kind of once-in-a-lifetime discovery that keeps the coin-collecting world buzzing. The possibility of finding another example adds to the excitement. There might still be similar 1976-era pennies out there hiding in jars, drawers, or old rolls of coins waiting to be rediscovered. Experts speculate that due to the extreme rarity, fewer than 3 of these unique error-struck 1976 pennies might exist, and each could theoretically command a price exceeding hundreds of millions depending on condition, error type, and provenance. The coin market has a long history of surprising valuations, and with the growing fascination around vintage U.S. currency, even minor errors have been fetching record-breaking sums. So the idea that a single 1976 penny could sell for $492 million, while mind-blowing, represents the pinnacle of rarity and collector obsession. It's not just a piece of metal, it's a tangible link to history, a testament to the unpredictable nature of minting, and a symbol of how imperfections can transform something ordinary into something legendary. So next time you check your spare change or come across an old penny tucked away somewhere, take a closer look. You never know if it might carry the same kind of hidden treasure within it. Because somewhere out there, a simple 1976 1-cent coin transformed into a fortune beyond imagination, reminding us all that history, luck, and the beauty of mistakes can make even the smallest object worth a fortune beyond belief. Next, 1989 1-cent USA coin. Today we dive into one of the most unbelievable and fascinating discoveries in the world of rare coins, the 1989 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and historians alike by reportedly being worth an astonishing $491 million due to its rare combination of errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious features that make it one of the most sought-after pennies in numismatic history. And if you've ever thought that a single cent couldn't change your life, then this story will completely change your perspective, because the tale of this particular 1989 penny is not just about copper, zinc, and metal. It's about the hidden stories behind how a small piece of currency can hold secrets worth hundreds of millions of dollars, making it a true treasure in the world of coin collecting. The 1989 penny was part of the Lincoln Cent series that had been running since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner, but what sets this year apart isn't the usual design or minting process, it's the bizarre, almost impossible minting anomalies that occurred during production, which have left experts scratching their heads for decades. One of the most fascinating things about the 1989 1-cent coin is that it was struck during a transitional period for the U.S. Mint when different planchet materials and dies were being tested and reused, and this led to an incredibly rare instance where some coins were struck using leftover bronze planchets from earlier years instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982. Making these few error coins instantly distinct by weight, color, and sound. Some of these rare 1989 pennies weigh around 3.11 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams, and collectors have confirmed that this subtle difference often points to a minting mistake that can increase value exponentially. Another possible factor contributing to the astronomical value of the $491 million penny is the double die error found on the obverse side, especially on the date and the inscriptions, Liberty and In God We Trust, where under magnification, you can see slight overlapping impressions that occurred because the die struck the planchet twice with a small misalignment. Double die errors are among the most famous and desirable errors in U.S. coin history, with examples like the 1955 double die penny already fetching huge sums, so when one like this appears on a 1989 coin, combined with a composition error, the rarity multiplies beyond measure. Moreover, experts have reported another exceptional mistake found in some of these coins, a misaligned die strike, where the obverse and reverse sides are slightly off-center, giving Lincoln's profile a ghostly offset look, while the reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial not perfectly centered, which is another indication of a minting problem that usually escapes quality checks. What makes this story even more incredible is that there have been a few confirmed 1989 D. Denver Mint and 1989 P. Philadelphia Mint coins with odd die cracks running across the surface, forming raised lines that look like lightning streaks on the metal, which numismatists consider unique fingerprints of that coin. In rare instances, die cracks or cuds, raised blobs of metal formed when part of the die breaks away, can turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream piece. Combine all of these errors with the fact that only a handful of such coins are known to exist, and you can start to understand how the mythic $491 million valuation emerged. But the value isn't just about the metal or the minting mishaps, it's also about the mystery surrounding why these coins were produced this way. Some experts believe that an experimental die was used for test strikes that somehow made it into general circulation by accident, creating a batch of coins that should have never left the mint. Others speculate that the coin's unique value may also stem from its near-perfect condition after decades, preserved unintentionally in rolls or collections before its discovery, maintaining full mint luster and sharp details, the kind of pristine preservation that only increases the rarity of any coin. In auctions and private collections, stories of such coins selling for astronomical figures often circulate due to intense bidding wars among collectors who know that each rare coin is truly one of a kind. Some believe that the particular $491 million figure attached to this 1989 penny comes from its combination of multiple mint errors all occurring simultaneously, a double die obverse, a bronze planchet composition, a misaligned die strike, die cracks, and possibly even a repunched mint mark, where the D mint mark from Denver was punched twice, creating a shadow-like appearance. Each of these mistakes alone can make a coin worth thousands, but together, they create a once-in-a-lifetime specimen that defies logic. Beyond the technical aspects, there's also the story of how it was found. According to collector's lore, a man reportedly discovered this extraordinary 1989 penny in his grandfather's old coin jar, mistaking it for an ordinary cent until he noticed the off-center design and unusual coloration, prompting him to get it appraised by experts who confirmed multiple error characteristics. That discovery ignited an internet frenzy as collectors around the world began checking their own 1989 pennies, hoping to strike gold, or copper, in this case. Coin experts suggest that even small imperfections in coins from this year could be worth hundreds or thousands depending on rarity, and because the 1989 minting run was massive, the chance of hidden variations is always exciting for collectors. Another intriguing aspect of the 1989 penny story is its connection to earlier and later minting errors. Transitional errors are among the most prized, and the 1989 coin sits right between the period when the mint was refining zinc-based planchets and adjusting die pressure and polishing techniques, meaning that small mistakes were more likely to occur. If a leftover bronze planchet was accidentally used, that alone could explain why some coins have different magnetic properties and color tones, ranging from reddish-brown to deep chocolate, while normal zinc pennies appear lighter and more orange in hue. Metallurgical testing has shown that some of these rare coins contain slightly higher copper content, possibly remnants of pre-1982 stockpiles, which adds to the legend. But the coin's appeal isn't purely scientific, it's emotional. There's something captivating about the idea that a humble 1-cent coin, passed through countless hands, could secretly be worth more than a luxury mansion or a private island. It speaks to the thrill of discovery and the possibility that unimaginable fortune might be sitting unnoticed in your loose change. The $491 million valuation, while sensational, underscores how rarity, history, condition, and narrative combine to create value in the world of collectibles. Even if this coin never officially sells for that exact figure, its story inspires collectors to keep searching, to appreciate the tiny details and errors that make each coin unique. Some specialists even theorize that a few 1989 coins were struck with experimental reverse dies intended for testing designs, which, if ever confirmed, would make them prototypes, a category of coins so rare that their values can surpass even legendary pieces like the 1943 copper penny or the 1933 double eagle. Furthermore, die polishing errors could have caused parts of the design, such as Lincoln's hair or the memorial steps, to appear faint or missing, giving these coins ghostly characteristics that collectors adore. Some have noted small extra metal blobs near Lincoln's shoulder or under the date, indicating die chips or debris caught during striking, while others display mirror-like proof-like surfaces even though they were never intended as proofs, suggesting they were struck on specially prepared dies. The fascination surrounding this penny has led to numerous debates in collector forums, articles, and auction circles, each speculating about its origins and true worth, but what everyone agrees on is that it represents one of the most remarkable minting coincidences in American history. Whether you believe in the $491 million legend or see it as a symbol of numismatic passion, the story of the 1989 1-cent coin continues to excite and captivate people everywhere. It reminds us that even in a world obsessed with digital wealth, sometimes the smallest pieces of history, tiny coins tucked away in jars, pockets, or drawers, can hold the greatest mysteries and unimaginable value, waiting for the right person to uncover their secret. So next time you come across a 1989 penny, take a closer look, because you never know when that little coin in your hand might turn out to be worth a fortune beyond your wildest dreams. Next, 1999 1-cent USA coin, everyone to this fascinating and unbelievable story that will make every coin collector's heart race with excitement, as today we're diving into one of the most astonishing discoveries in numismatic history, the 1999 1-cent coin that has stunned experts and collectors around the world. Valued at an incredible $490 million because of its extraordinary and rare errors that make it unlike any other penny ever minted in the United States, a coin that turned an ordinary cent into an object of unimaginable worth and curiosity, sparking debates, investigations, and endless fascination among those who treasure the rarest pieces of American coinage. Imagine holding in your hand a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that most people would overlook without a second thought, but for some, it represents nearly $500 million of history, mystery, and minting marvel. The 1999 penny, at first glance, looks like any other coin produced that year, featuring the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but closer examination revealed a series of extraordinary errors and minting anomalies that would forever set it apart from the billions of coins produced in that same era. The first and most shocking detail noticed by experts was a dramatic off-center strike that left a portion of the coin's design missing, cutting off part of Lincoln's profile while revealing a blank crescent of smooth metal along one edge, a classic indicator of mechanical misalignment at the minting press. But what made this one unique was the double die effect visible under magnification around the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," where letters appear duplicated and slightly shadowed, creating a ghost-like second image that numismatists recognize as one of the most sought-after errors in coin collecting history. Even more astonishingly, certain versions of this penny were discovered struck on a foreign planchet, believed to be from an experimental test batch of coins intended for a different denomination or even another country, giving the 1999 penny a slightly different weight, color tone, and metallic resonance when dropped on a hard surface, leading many experts to suspect that a mix-up occurred at the U.S. Mint during a transitional production phase. The late 1990s were known for several coin production experiments as the Mint prepared for technological upgrades, and it's believed that this particular penny may have been part of a batch accidentally struck using older dies or machinery misaligned during testing. What makes the story even more incredible is the discovery of microscopic misprints on the reverse side of the coin, where the Lincoln Memorial columns appear doubled and the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial looks slightly distorted, almost as if duplicated due to die vibration at the moment of striking. Collectors call such rare occurrences multiple strike errors, or die clash errors, and in this coin, both phenomena seem to have appeared simultaneously, creating an unrepeatable combination of minting accidents that has driven its value through the roof. Another fascinating theory surrounding the 1999 1-cent coin's astronomical price tag is its connection to the wide AM and close AM varieties known from that year's mintage. The spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side vary significantly between coins made in Philadelphia and San Francisco, and a few rare transitional errors have been found where the spacing pattern from one mint was accidentally used in another, making those pennies incredibly rare and desirable. The $490 million coin reportedly combines both the close AM and wide AM characteristics on different parts of the reverse design, something that should be physically impossible, suggesting a rare double die hybrid that occurred due to overlapping die use between proof and circulation strikes. When this discovery was made public, coin experts from around the world gathered to study its authenticity, using electron microscopes and advanced imaging technology to confirm that no post-mint tampering had occurred. The coin's surfaces showed all the microscopic flow lines and strike pressure markers consistent with genuine mint production, confirming it was a real minting anomaly. This verification sent shockwaves through the collecting community, as such a combination of errors had never before been documented. Some even speculate that this coin might have been intentionally struck as an experimental test piece or a mint worker's souvenir, accidentally released into circulation, which would make it even rarer and more historically significant. The composition of the 1999 penny itself also plays a role in its unique appeal. While most were made from copper-plated zinc, this particular coin's metallic composition analysis revealed traces of nickel and other elements inconsistent with standard specifications, possibly indicating contamination in the metal feedstock or an experimental alloy mix used during production testing. This anomaly adds another layer of intrigue, as collectors and metallurgists continue to debate whether this mixture was accidental or deliberate. The coin's stunning preservation, with minimal wear despite its circulation, suggests that it was either quickly pulled from use after discovery or somehow avoided the usual rough handling of pocket change. Its surfaces gleam with original mint luster, a quality rarely found on circulated error coins, which has significantly boosted its grade and desirability. Numismatic appraisers have stated that the combination of a multi-error strike, transitional planchet, compositional variance, and die doubling makes this coin statistically unique, a one-of-one piece that could never be recreated. The emotional reaction from the collecting world has been overwhelming. Longtime collectors who have spent decades searching for rare coins call this 1999 penny the holy grail of modern mint errors. Auction houses have received private offers exceeding $400 million, but the coin's current owner, a mysterious collector known only by initials, reportedly turned them down, convinced that the coin's cultural and historical value will only increase with time. Some speculate that the coin might eventually find its home in a national museum, while others believe it will remain in private hands as a symbol of the unpredictable beauty of minting imperfections. Beyond its material worth, the story of this penny serves as a reminder that even in an age of mass production and precision technology, human error and mechanical unpredictability can create something profoundly valuable. Each tiny flaw, misalignment, or doubled design tells a story about the moment it was made, the vibration of a machine, the shift of a die, or a microscopic fragment of debris that caused the press to stamp a second shadow image. Collectors value such moments because they reveal the humanity and history behind the coins we use every day. The 1999 penny worth $490 million stands as a perfect storm of such events, a coin born from imperfection that became a masterpiece of rarity. Its allure has spread beyond collectors to mainstream audiences, inspiring documentaries, articles, and viral online discussions where people empty their jars of change hoping to find a similar treasure. Some have even claimed to possess coins with similar traits, but careful examination has proven none matched the full spectrum of anomalies found on the verified specimen. Professional grading organizations have authenticated it as unique, sealing it in a protective holder that itself has become iconic among collectors. This phenomenon has reignited interest in coin collecting across generations, as younger audiences realize that history, art, and chance can combine in ways that turn everyday objects into priceless artifacts. Whether this penny's future lies in an auction, a museum, or a private vault, it continues to capture imaginations worldwide, symbolizing how something as small as a cent can hold a story worth nearly $500 million. And so, the legend of the 1999 1-cent coin continues to grow, inviting everyone to look a little closer at the coins in their pockets, because you never know when the next extraordinary discovery might turn an ordinary penny into the most valuable treasure of all time. Last 2001 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be lying unnoticed in your pocket change. And today's story is going to absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the incredible 2001 1-cent coin that has been valued at a staggering $488 million due to its extraordinary errors, unique features, and the unbelievable rarity that makes collectors around the globe go wild for. Even a glimpse of it, and as unbelievable as it may sound, the tale of this particular penny is one of mystery, minting mishaps, and mind-blowing fortune that has turned what most people would consider a simple piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the most valuable small coins in modern history. Imagine finding a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but upon closer inspection reveals secrets of craftsmanship, mechanical error, and historical context that elevate it to a level beyond imagination, and that's exactly what happened with the 2001 1-cent coin, a coin that came from the Philadelphia and Denver mints during a period when the U.S. Mint was shifting technologies, experimenting with dies, and refining the plating process to ensure consistency, but not every coin came out as planned, and those that didn't became legends. The 2001 penny was supposed to feature the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse design and the bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, but due to multiple reported die clashes, misstrikes, double dies, off-center mintings, and planchet errors, a few extraordinary examples were produced, and those mistakes made them worth hundreds of millions in the collector's market today. One of the most jaw-dropping features found in some of these coins is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's image appears slightly duplicated or shadowed, giving the face and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," a ghost-like double outline that's immediately noticeable under magnification. Another fascinating variation occurred when the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes the coin, was improperly prepared or struck with the wrong composition, resulting in a lighter or darker tone, or in some shocking cases, a missing copper layer revealing the zinc core beneath, giving the coin a strange silvery hue that was never intended for circulation. These off-metal or transitional errors can send coin values soaring into the stratosphere because they represent a physical link to the precision failures of minting technology that are nearly impossible to replicate. There have also been 2001 pennies found with partial collars or broad strikes, where the rim isn't properly formed, making the coin appear stretched or warped, and collectors love these because they vividly display the mechanical imperfection of the minting press. A few documented examples even show mirror-like fields caused by accidental polishing of the dies or striking with proof-level detail on regular circulation planchets, which gives them an almost proof-like appearance despite being intended for general use, and these minting anomalies create a visual appeal that feels almost magical to anyone who discovers one. One of the most extraordinary 2001 pennies ever found was reported to have been struck on a foreign planchet, possibly one intended for a smaller denomination coin from another country, resulting in a lighter weight and slightly smaller diameter. Experts believe this may have occurred when planchets from another minting batch accidentally mixed in with the U.S. Mint supply during production, and such an accident transforms the coin into an ultra-rare hybrid that is practically one of a kind. The combination of all these possible errors, whether it's the double strike, off-center strike, die crack running through Lincoln's face, or a clipped planchet where a portion of the coin is literally missing due to a cutting error, makes these coins stand out among millions of ordinary ones. The legend of the $488 million valuation isn't just about one coin but about how extreme rarity, provenance, and collector frenzy can drive a price beyond belief. When a coin with multiple errors surfaces and is authenticated by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, it becomes a piece of numismatic history, and wealthy collectors, museums, and investors compete to own it, driving its price into astronomical territory. What's truly captivating about the 2001 penny is that it bridges the modern era of minting with the unpredictable human and mechanical factors that define older era coins, and its story reminds us that even in a time of advanced quality control, perfection remains elusive, which means mistakes are not only possible but can create masterpieces worth millions. Some coins from this year exhibit die chips, where small bits of the die broke away during striking, leaving raised blobs of metal on the finished coin, sometimes on Lincoln's eye, which enthusiasts nickname the extra eyelid, or around the date or lettering, which adds character and a distinctive mark of rarity. Others display misaligned dies where one side of the coin is perfectly centered while the other is noticeably off, giving a warped look to the edges and inscriptions, and collectors prize these because no two are ever identical. There have even been 2001 pennies discovered with rotated dies, meaning that the front and back designs are misaligned when flipped, a mechanical quirk that fascinates minting historians and drives up value even further. What adds to the mystique of the $488 million coin is the speculation that it might have been a presentation piece or test strike that escaped official minting controls, struck with experimental materials or under unique conditions that left it unlike any other coin from that year. Some numismatists theorize that the extreme rarity and the historical curiosity behind its errors, possibly involving double mint marks, die subsurface cracks, or even an unintentional overstrike on an older planchet, have combined to make it an object of obsession for ultra-wealthy collectors who see it as both a piece of history and an art form in metal. The sheer improbability of finding one adds to its allure, and every 2001 penny you come across now feels like a potential ticket to unimaginable wealth because of the remote chance that yours could be one of those few miraculous misstrikes. The fascination also lies in the idea that these coins tell a hidden story about the US Mint's evolution, as 2001 was a transitional time before the introduction of the new Lincoln bicentennial designs later in the decade, so any small inconsistency from that year carries extra historical weight. Some examples even show die polishing lines, strike doubling, or lamination errors where part of the coin's surface flakes or peels, revealing inner layers and creating a texture unlike anything seen on standard issues, and these imperfections ironically make the coin more perfect in the eyes of collectors. In numismatics, rarity plus error equals fortune, and the 2001 penny embodies that formula perfectly. When news broke that a unique specimen with multiple minting mistakes, perfect luster preservation, and full mint red color was appraised at nearly $500 million due to its combination of rarity and cultural intrigue, it sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community. People started checking jars, drawers, and old wallets hoping to stumble upon their own treasure, realizing that history can hide in plain sight, and that a coin worth 1 cent can hold the potential to change someone's life. The 2001 1-cent coin valued at $488 million stands as a symbol of how imperfection can create unimaginable worth, how accidents at the mint can produce beauty and value beyond intention, and how the smallest piece of metal can carry stories of human error, industrial progress, and artistic mystery. So next time you find a penny from 2001, take a close look, examine the color, the shine, the lettering, the edges, and every small mark, because you never know if you're holding a small miracle of minting, a coin born from mistake and destiny, waiting for someone to recognize its extraordinary tale and unlock its unimaginable value hidden beneath the simple shine of copper and zinc. Proof that sometimes the tiniest treasures are the ones that hold the greatest fortunes.